today we're gonna jump back to third grade, but today, as I wrote in big words, we're gonna talk about quadrilaterals, which are just all the four-sided shapes you can find. So let's talk about all the neat different kind of shapes, since not all different quadrilaterals have no name, right? Not all of them are regular. So let's look at each of our quadrilaterals and classify them. So here are the first and second quadrilateral. You know all about those squares and rectangles. I don't think I have to explain a whole lot about them. You'll see what these are once we talk about all of these. Now this in our third shape, I think you noticed too, it's a trapezoid. But what is a trapezoid? What makes this shape a trapezoid? So you all know about parallel and whatever, you know about that, right? A trapezoid has at least one pair of parallel sides that do not intersect. So if I continue these forever in both directions, top and bottom line, they will never intersect, which means these two lines are parallel, which makes this trapezoid parallel. Now I just said at least one, and what does at least mean? At least one. It could be more than one. So now we just identify a square and a rectangle. They're both trapezoids. Since at least one, there could be more than one, but usually we don't say square, rectangle, oh, they're trapezoids. We usually don't say that, since we have more exact name for them. So let's move on. The kite. That's exactly what it is. But what does this shape look like? A kite, right? So what is a feature of the kite? Well, the two sides on the top, the two lines pointing on the top, they're identical. They're the same. They have the same length, same thing. Same thing here. These two are the same. So each one of the two connecting sides have to be the same length, and that does not go with these two or these two. You know what I mean by that, right? So we've almost identified these two as a kite, but they're very similar, since these are all the different sides, and like the rectangle. Instead of the connecting sides the same, the opposite sides are always the same. But the square, you can consider that as a kite. It's like a very special kind of kite, since all of the connecting shapes are all kites. So I know it's a little complicated. I know it's a little confusing. So you might identify the square as a kite. So let's move on. What is this? This is still a trapezoid. Now, why do we add two trapezoids up here? Well, since before I said you should recognize this too as a trapezoid, I didn't mean you should recognize this, since this is where we find magnet sets. It's the most common kind of trapezoid you see and use. So it's even found in some toys. But this is very rare, even though it just has a few right angles, a couple right angles and stuff like that. But it's still a trapezoid, only not the kind most people recognize them as trapezoids. So here, this looks like a diamond, but you know what a diamond is? There isn't a such thing as a diamond. Oh, no, there is a such thing as a diamond, but not in math. I know diamonds are expensive, so they can't possibly not exist. I know about that, but I know it's very funny. But diamonds, I think I know why all of you call them diamonds, but I don't know, they're shaped like diamonds, right? But here's a fun fact about them. They usually don't come in the shape of this. They usually don't come in those. People just curve them into circular. Let's stop talking about diamonds like another jewelry, okay? Let's please stop talking about this. You can leave a comment under if you want to know more about diamonds, okay? Let's not talk about diamonds right here. Okay, let's try not to do that. So this is actually called a rhombus. Okay, again, we can identify the square as a rhombus. Since a rhombus, what's special about this diamond, which does not exist? So all four of these sides are the same. So it's unlike the kite, which are just some of the connecting sides are the same. All of them are same here. Just like this square. So this, which is not the diamond, is a rhombus, in fact, and which means all four sides are the same. So I think a square is pretty special. The trapezoid, sometimes a kite, a diamond, and stuff like that, a whole lot. And for our next one, a square is also a parallelogram. Parallelogram. How hard is that to say? I mean, like, parallel, that's a word, that's a real word. So parallel means they're parallel, they never intersect. They're always the same. So parallelogram, if we add the G-R-A-M, the gram, it means all of the sides are parallel. They never intersect. All of the opposite sides are parallel. For example, these two sides, they're parallel. They go forever in both directions and never intersect. And same thing here. They always go in the same directions. You can consider them as lines. And they go forever in both directions. So this is a parallelogram. Again, which is part of the square group. So squares are unique. You get that right. This is the kind of no-name quadrilateral I've been talking at the beginning of this lesson. So I want to tell you, the square is a special kind of rectangle, trapezoid, rhombus, parallelogram, and not this kind of like no-name shape. So, and sometimes I'm very, like, you might consider them kites. So square, it's a very special kind of all these kinds of shapes. It's also a very special kind of rectangle. So let's not talk about this rectangle. So what features, what can possibly this rectangle, this plane or rectangle have so unique features? Well, again, like we just asked about this trapezoid before. What makes this trapezoid a trapezoid? So what makes this rectangle a rectangle? What are its features? And how are squares? And how do squares include all the features that make a rectangle? The rectangle, its rules are all the sides have to be parallel. And rule number 2, they have to have right angles. And these, the square and rectangle, they come from another large group, similar to the quadrilateral group, the rectilinear shaped group. So the rectilinear shaped group, it means any shape that has only right angles. Like this big shape here. It's considered a rectilinear shape. If I draw like this, it's actually considered a rectilinear shape. So the rectangle and square also come from the rectilinear shaped group. You might consider the rectilinear larger than the quadrilateral group. So this is definitely not a quadrilateral. It doesn't even have 4 sides. Anyway, that's so funny. So we'll talk about the problem later, and let's just erase this. I know this took quite a lot of time. Even though this is a third grade knowledge, don't forget about that. So let's review first. I'll give you a little test. Rectangle, square. We just talked over them. I think you should memorize all by now. What does trapezoid mean? Yeah, anything that has at least one pair of parallel sides. Kite. Well, when all the connecting sides, they're equal. They're the same. And then the trapezoid, you just went through that test. The rhombus, yeah, that's right. All 4 sides are the same. So parallel, yeah, you got it. Right again. It's all, the opposite sides are all parallel. So here, no U shape, what's that? Yeah, no features.